So again, before you start making all of your 12-volt connections, make sure that your kill switch is in the open position. This is especially important if you've already made your connections to your battery. I recommend not making the connections to the battery until later, but even then you still want to have your kill switch open. It's always a good habit to have your kill switches open before you start working on your wires, just so you keep yourself safe and you don't electrocute yourself. Now, you've got all your lines coming in here. They're just going to be hanging loose and not actually going to be connected to anything. So the first thing that you want to do is connect all of your ground wires to a single ground bus, which will have then a much thicker lead, which will connect to the battery later. If it is connected to the battery now for a ground wire, that's not the worst, but I still, again, recommend not having the battery connected as of yet. Since the ground wires all go to the same place, it doesn't really matter which one is which. You just crimp, strip them all, put fittings on them all, and tie them all down to the main ground bus here. And then you can worry about tracing out your positive voltage lines for which outlet they go to. And then once you've got those traced out, you'll want to label them in some way that'll keep it clear for you. If you need to combine more than one line onto the circuit here, you can use a 6-8 post terminal, whatever works best for you. And if you ever need to combine two of them, just make a little loop right there that'll connect those two. So as you can see right here, I've got 1, 2, 3 lines all connected to a single fuse on this fuse box. So those will be powering that, I believe, is my lights. And so that way you can run multiple lines, power them all off of one fuse if they're, lines that pull very low amperage. And so right here I've got my fuse box with the different fuses for the different sizes again. And then here's a positive 12-volt bus. I don't have anything connected there. If you are going to connect something, you want to make sure that your positive 12-volt bus does have a cover. You want to make sure all your positive voltage lines are well insulated so that you can't electrocute yourself when everything is connected. And then you just want to, again, make sure that your kill switches are in the open position. Once you've got all these hooked up, then you can start tracing out these lines, and I'll show you a little pro tip on how to trace out those lines, make that part easy. To easily trace out your lines, you'll want to get a wire tracer like this. You can pick one of these up for probably $10 or $15. They're actually not very expensive, unlike back when I was a cable guy and these things were about $90 a piece, 15 years ago. They're actually pretty cheap now. And so what you'll do is you'll take these leads here, you'll connect the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative on your outlet. And then on this end, what will happen is when you're scanning, you've got your sensor here, and it will pick up a signal, as you can hear that, and as you get closer. So this way it'll allow you to trace out your lines. Now the problem is, sometimes when you've got all your lines kind of clustered into one place, it's kind of hard to tell which one is which, and I'm going to show you an easy way to do that really quick. Okay, so I've got the other end of my toner hooked up to the line where my refrigerator is going to go. Now I know it's my refrigerator, but as you can see, you're kind of getting just this mess of noise around, so it's kind of hard to identify specifically which one you want to use. And so a little tip to do is actually take this, use your body as a conductor. So take this device and hold it in one hand and pull it away from the lines that you're trying to test. And then when you want to test your lines, take your opposite hand and start touching the conductor on the lines. And what will happen when you start touching the right line, your body will actually conduct that signal and you'll get a loud noise from the toner. And then that way you can easily decipher those lines when they're all bunched together. Once you've traced out and identified each line, make sure to go ahead and label them so that you can clearly remember which one is which later if you ever do need to disconnect them. Crimp on your spade crimp terminals like that, and then go ahead and just put those on your fuses. Now everything's all wired up here. You're wired to the bus, and again, your switch is open so that you can stay safe.